It is a joy to stand before you today as the minister of this beloved congregation. The current state of our nation is one of stress, tension, and difficulty. We are not just on the verge of a civil war, we are in one. Multiple cities across the nation are occupied by National Guard troops sent in by the current presidential administration under the guise of keeping the peace. In Portland, people are wearing inflatable costumes to illustrate the absurdity of what is happening. In my hometown, where my children live, troops are marching in the streets carrying weapons. There is a No Kings protest next weekend. I hope that you will consider attending, because there is no time for complacency. The world is in crisis, and we must begin that healing by doing the work right here among us. The title for today's sermon came to me as I was walking on the beach at sunrise, as has been my habit living in Delray Beach. I saw a very small shell in the sand, and I thought how tiny and precious and perfect it was. It hit me all of a sudden how each body that houses our spirit is just a shell, a container for the person inside, a container that requires maintenance, sometimes a lot of maintenance. Our bodies are shells that can be all too easily broken, and yet so beautiful. Whether considered perfect by conventional beauty standards or not, everybody is exactly right, exactly as you are, and exactly as you are becoming. Let me say that again. Everybody is perfectly and wonderfully made. Every body houses a unique spirit, inherently worthy of dignity and respect, worthy of love, deeply intertwined with the vast, gorgeous, intricate, interconnected universe that we all share. Like shells tumbled in the surf on the ocean, our bodies get battered about by the seas of life. We have growth and change and trauma. Our bodies get scars and wounds and diseases, accidents, a new diagnosis. We age, we gain weight, we lose weight, we have surgery, we retain fluids or have unexpected pain. The waves of life polish us and alter us, these shells that we live in. We're tumbled back and forth. We wash up on the beach, we wash back out. A wave comes up and pulls us under, back and forth, over and over. Some waves are gentle, some are intense, some are storms. And we continue. Life goes on. Regardless of the weather or the tides, we persevere. What a pretty little shell you are. Our shells, these human forms, are the vehicles that carry our spirits. Like these shells that I picked up to bring to you today, 250, I counted them as I picked them up. There are many ways in which we may appear similar to each other, but it is our spirits that make us absolutely unique and one of a kind. Even with twins, there are subtle differences, but if anyone knows someone who's a twin or happens to be a twin, you are vividly aware that personalities are wildly different, even with twins. And it's like that with animals too. You might have one orange cat that looks like another orange cat, but their personalities are going to be perfectly imperfect, intimately connected to their singular beingness. And people are like that too. There will never be another you in the history of the universe. There might be people who have things in common with you. There might be people that you feel a deep rapport with, who have the same job or live in a similar place, but there's only one you with your unique history, your outlook, your upbringing and experiences. These human lives we have are not only tumbled by the waves of living, but are changed and changing in the process. One of my favorite authors, Leonardo Buscaglia, says, "Human beings are always capable of growth and change. Every day you should be seeing the world in a new way. The tree outside your house is no longer the same, so look at it. Your husband, your wife, your child, your mother, Everyone is changing daily, so look at them. Don't ever believe that your life is going to be peaceful. Life is not like that. With change taking place all around us, you've got to continue adjusting, which means you are constantly becoming. And there is no stopping. We are all on a fantastic journey. Every day is new, every experience is new, every person is new, everything is new, every day of your life. I first read those words as a child because my parents had left that book laying around, and I love that book to this day. The title, of course, Love. Our animal friends are changing all the time, too. My cat, for example, Miracle, gained a pound when we took her to the vet the other day, and that doesn't sound so bad, a pound, but my third child, who's 24, was horrified and blames me. Mom, you're feeding her too much. But how can I not feed her when she looks at me with those big eyes? And she tells me she's hungry. Is she lying? That is why I am a vegetarian. I cannot bear to be a part of any animal's suffering. I remember when I was about 3 years old, tragically, I lost a pet for the first time. I asked my parents, is she going to heaven? And the answer was, animals don't have souls, honey. I was shocked and horrified. I thought, that can't be right. I still think that's not right. I know people might argue there's no such thing as a soul. You can't prove it scientifically, and you're right, I can't prove anything. But what I know is there is something about each and every one of us who are living creatures on this planet that goes on after we are no longer breathing, that continues in some form. I think of the aphorism attributed to Albert Einstein, energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be changed from one form to another. Perhaps, if there is no soul, then we live on in people's memories and the way they think of us and they remember us and the way we affect them as they go on in their lives after we are gone, in the way that they tell the stories to their children and their children's children. And isn't that an old concept, that we live on as long as someone remembers us? And if that's true, those of us that we have lost, people we've lost, animals we've lost, everything we've lost, lives on inside of us, in our actions, in our memories, in our thoughts, and the things that we remember that they said and did. Our loved ones, whether they're feathered or furry or human, live on in us. They are the legacy that lives in us and that we will also leave behind when we go. Our existence on this planet is oh so fragile. Human lives are precious and magical, and they're achingly, heartbreakingly brief. Animal lives, too, are precious, magical, and brief. Hans Christian Andersen says, the whole world is a series of miracles, but we're so used to them, we call them ordinary things. This whole world is a miracle. This congregation is no ordinary thing, no ordinary place. This is an incredible congregation and an extraordinary life that we are all fortunate to share. You've heard me say this before, I'll keep saying it. You are a living miracle, every single one of you. And these miracles that we are pass all too quickly. When I was a new mother and I first had my oldest child, I remember someone telling me they grow up so fast, treasure these days. And I was struggling with feeding and diapers and how on earth do I get this child to sleep? I couldn't treasure a thing. But I did see the wisdom in those words, and I did treasure it. And now they're mostly grown. After 3 decades of parenting, my youngest child is 10 and comes up to here. She's so tall. And that is why life is far too brief for all of us, parent, child, anyone in the world, and yet that is why we must savor our relationships, savor our lives, saving our livingness, our beingness. Wake up every day and say, thank you for today, thank you for my breath, thank you for my life. Because to the best of my knowledge, we only get one shot and then it's over. That's it. As a song lyric by Brandi Carlile that I heard yesterday says, you'll be wrong if you're thinking we don't all fade away like drops of dew in the dawn. Yes, we are temporary creatures, here one day and gone the next. What a magnificent, glorious, lovely shell you are. Housing your marvelously, fabulously, gorgeous human spirit. As stated in our seventh principle, we are all a minuscule part of the interconnected web of life of which we are a part. If you stand on a beach on a clear night and look up, you'll see so many stars. And you'll realize in that moment how infinitesimally small we are in the universe. Every single one of you hearing my words today is precious. Every single one of you is loved. Every single one of you is important and necessary to the web of life. And as the fox says to the little prince, you are unique in all the world. What a pretty little shell you are. I love you. May you be blessed. May your spirits have peace. May you live long, happy, deeply connected lives. May your animal companions be blessed and bring you comfort and love and joy. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.